Hello everybody, my name is Matthew Wallace and I wanted to do a short video. Hopefully it's short, maybe 10 to 20 minutes, something like that. I'll try to keep this brief. I am a software developer by trade and I've been self-employed for a long time, and I'm always looking to diversify how I'm making money, whether it's some sort of passive income by building a piece of software or some sort of investment strategy. I've never been a big stock trader. Every time I've tried to get into that, I tend to lose enough money that I kind of run away from it. So everything I'm about to cover, take it with a grain of salt. These are the things that I've been learning lately and the strategies that have been working for me. They may or may not work for you, so I'm definitely not recommending that you follow what I'm talking about in this video, but I do think from a resources standpoint and a learning standpoint, I'm going to be showing a lot of things that you will be able to apply to your particular strategy and how you want to go about navigating the cryptocurrency space and how to invest in that, or how you decide to invest in that. So long story short, around February of 2021, I decided to take a look at Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I really just signed up for like a Coinbase account and decided I was going to put, a modest amount of money, but something that could make an impact over time, because I really needed to come up with a investment strategy that could benefit me long term as I get older and start building a portfolio of assets, if you will. So what I found when I started doing research on crypto and started investing in it is I started dabbling a little bit in what's called leverage trading or margin trading, and it's very risky. I decided that I was willing to risk a certain amount of money. I started off with about $5,000, and I was willing to lose a portion of that in order to learn whether this would be a good strategy for me or not. So if you decide to do some of the things that I'm doing in these videos, be willing to lose a certain amount of money and stick to that amount, and don't lose everything. Don't gamble more than you can afford to lose. So whatever that number is for you, I know $5,000 is a lot to some people, and it's a little bit to others. For me, it's a lot, but it's not going to break my financial life with losing it. So what I want to cover today is where I'm at in regards to when I started. So bottom line up front, I lost about $2,000 or so. I lost most of that, pretty much all of it, in trading Bitcoin. And it's not because Bitcoin's a bad thing to trade. I just made stupid emotional decisions, and I was able to learn from those mistakes. So a lot of what I'm going to show today is my strategy today based on learning how not to trade. For me, like it really, the way I trade now, it really lowers my risk of losing a large sum of money. So what I trade currently is Ethereum, and I've done really well learning how to trade Ethereum. And I encourage you to look at all kinds of different cryptocurrencies. Find something that you understand, that you believe in. As a software engineer, there's a lot of reasons why I like Ethereum and why I believe it has a huge future. So I personally want to keep investing in Ethereum because of the things that Ethereum, the utility that Ethereum has. So I won't go too much more into what Ethereum is. There's plenty of YouTube videos out there. If you don't know what Ethereum is, I will have a link to the blog post that I put together for this video, and it's going to have a bunch of resources, and one of them is a YouTube video from another YouTuber explaining both Bitcoin and Ethereum and why they're valuable and what they do. So I encourage you to watch those. I'll also put those links in the bottom of the YouTube video as well, so you don't have to go to the blog, but they'll live forever on the blog as well. So what I want to show today and what I have pulled up is some of the tools that I use, and what I do is called leverage trading. And what that is at a high level is, let's just say I have $100 and I'm going to invest that in Ethereum. If I want to leverage trade that, I set my leverage or my margin to 2x or 5x or 10x. So let's say I put it at 2x. When I leverage trade $100, that actually means the platform is allowing me to borrow 2 times the amount of money that I'm putting in. And so that means I'm trading with $200. So if I buy $200 worth of Ethereum and I buy long, then I'm going to reap all of the benefits of the profit from $200 going up in value in Ethereum versus just my $100. So if Ethereum goes up 1%, then I actually am making 2% gain on Ethereum going up 1%. So that's how, at a high level, I believe I'm explaining leverage trading correctly. So keep that in mind, but here's where the risk is. The risk is when you borrow against the money that you're trading, there is what's called a liquidation price. And if the price drops to that liquidation price, then the $100 I've invested gets completely taken from me and I lose that $100. So you have to really do your analysis and understand how you're going to trade and come up with a plan and get out of the trade if the trade starts going into the negative before you reach your liquidation price. So it's better to lose a little bit of money than for you to hit your liquidation price and lose all of it. So the times I've lost the most is because I didn't anticipate Bitcoin dropping down to my liquidation price and I had too high of leverage. And I just didn't have a good plan for trading. So I encourage you to start with really low leverage if you do decide to leverage trade. Your liquidation prices are really reasonable if you have a good plan, if you use smaller amounts of leverage. So do some searching on leverage trading so that you understand how it works if you do go this route. So that's all I'm going to say about how I'm trading. I'm using leverage, and that's how I've been able to make the gains that I've made. I've also lost a little bit here and there, but you're going to lose trades. It's just you need to figure out how to lose your trades soon so that you don't get liquidated. So what you're looking at here is TradingView. I use TradingView.com. There will be a link for you to follow. If you don't have a TradingView account, they're free. I do have a pro account, and there are some benefits for having a pro account. However, you don't have to get a pro account in order to use TradingView. You get all the same tools. You just get some extra features if you have a pro account for setting alerts and things like that. So, but I love TradingView. It's a really good tool for just doing your analysis of your trades. You don't actually do the trading with TradingView. You can look at stocks, you can look at cryptocurrency, you can look at anything that you're wanting to invest your money in on TradingView. So what I have is TradingView pulled up, and the other indicators that you're seeing, I'm going to turn them off right now. So when you go to TradingView, what you're going to see is is typically, let's see here, let me see if I can hide all of them. So you're really just going to see the chart, right? So I'm looking at Ethereum right now. I'm keeping an eye on it because I'm actually looking for a position in Ethereum so that I can trade it. I've already traded it once today. I traded it pretty quickly. I was only in the trade for maybe 30 minutes or so, and I saw that it probably wasn't going to get any higher. It actually did go a little bit higher, and I wish I would have stayed in longer, but it's better to pull out with a profit than no profit at all. So, I made, around $100 today trading it. So I'd like to trade it another time or two today. So I'm looking for a position. So I like to try to make, $100 or $200 a day. Sometimes I'll get lucky and make more than that. Sometimes I'll not be lucky and I'll lose a little bit. So what you want to try to do is win more than you lose. For the most part, I'll win, even if I don't stay in the trade as long as I think I should. So right now, Ethereum is going down. I'm waiting for a bottom and some indications that I can get back into the trade. So the way I do that is I use a indicator called Market Cipher. If you've done any sort of searching on trading cryptocurrency, you may have run across Market Cipher. If you follow some of the other YouTube channels, they probably have talked about Market Cipher. There's a lot of information out there about Market Cipher. So this isn't going to be a tutorial on Market Cipher. I just want to call out that it is the main tool that I use to decide whether I'm going to get into a trade or not. The other thing I'll point out, if you're not aware, is Market Cipher actually does cost money. I started off with the 5-month subscription. It was about $400. Again, this was I was willing to risk a certain amount of money, but I wanted to have the tools that I needed to be successful. I've since purchased a lifetime license to Market Cipher, which I think right now, at the time of this video, is about $1,500. Some of the people that advertise Market Cipher and have relationships with Market Cipher will have discount codes, so you could search for those. I actually have a link in this video at the bottom or on the blog post where you can go purchase Market Cipher, and it does have a referral link. I'll get a little, kickback if you guys decide to purchase Market Cipher. So if you do, I'd appreciate it if you would use that link, but you don't have to. So I figured it's a great tool. I want to promote it. I don't think I'm going to make a ton of money off of referrals, but if you do decide to buy it, please use the referral. And Market Cipher, what it does is it gives you these indicators down here, and it also gives you some of these indicators up here, these little shapes that are showing up above the candles, and also these what we call spider lines. They kind of show what your support and resistance levels are of the current trend that you're following. The main part of Market Cipher that I use the most, or what I should say is where I start looking first, is what they call the momentum wave down here. So I would encourage you to take what I'm saying, and also before you use Market Cipher, go to their website and go to the tutorial section. They have great tutorials and they're free. Watch the basic strategy tutorials, and then any of the other ones are really good, but the basic strategy tutorials are where you really want to start. And then if you decide to purchase, watch them more than once so that you really get a good understanding of how the indicator works. Then once you understand how it works, you need to apply that to your strategy. So my strategy is a more short-term trading strategy, I I don't get into a trade for days and days. I've made too many mistakes waiting for the price to go up. So I like to take small trades that last anywhere from 30 minutes to 4 or 5 hours. The longest I want to be in a trade is around 24 hours. If I end up making a bad decision and I think it's going to go back up in the next 24 hours, then I'll stay in. Sometimes I'll just take a loss and try again tomorrow. So that's my strategy. So you need to learn how Market Cipher works so that you can apply it to your strategy. If you're more of a long-term trader and you want to trade for 1 or 2 weeks, then you're going to look at Market Cipher a lot differently. So an example of that is the different time frames. So in TradingView, you can look at the trend lines on different time frames. So right now, I tend to start looking at the 15-minute first. So each candle represents a 15-minute block of time. So whether it's red or green at the end of 15 minutes will give you a good indication of what's going to happen with the next candle. So right now it looks like we might get a green candle, for instance, on Ethereum. So once I start seeing a green candle form, and we only have about 4 minutes left on a 15-minute candle, I'll also take a look at the momentum wave. So a lot of the tutorials for Market Cipher will suggest that you look for the momentum wave to be below the 0 line, which is this middle line here. And then you'll also, it's really good if the momentum wave is below this, this line at the bottom. If it peaks below this line, then typically you've hit a bottom for a downtrend. Now, what we're really looking for are these green dots. So the green dots basically say, the green dots show that the momentum of the trend could be turning bullish. It could be starting to go back up from hitting a bottom. Doesn't mean that you should purchase or get into the trade right now. But when you see a green dot like back here, this might have been from this morning whenever I got into the trade this morning. Actually, I can look and see. It looks like, yeah, around 4 or 5 a.m., which for me was around 7 or 8 o'clock this morning, I did get it into a trade. And as you can see, after this second green dot, we started to trend upward above the line. The other thing you want to start looking at is the flow of money, which is represented by green and red waves in the middle. As you get a green dot, you really want to start looking to see yellow and green money flow. It doesn't always mean you need to wait, but typically you'll start seeing this red flip to green above that zero line. So that's the second thing I start looking at. After I see a green dot, I start watching the money flow to see if it's going to turn green above the 0 line. So the next thing I do is I try to confirm the momentum shift by checking the 24-minute. So let's flip over to the 24-minute chart. And as you can see, we're still on a downward trend on the 24-minute. And then on top of that, the good news is we already still have good money flow. It's still green. So it's a higher likelihood that once we hit this bottom that we are going to trend back up. We're not going to keep going down. We might sometimes you'll see a green dot and it will still trend down for a little bit longer. So the first time you see a green dot, you do need to wait. You need to kind of look and see what's going on and decide for yourself, should I get into this trade? And if it continues down, am I going to get out right away, or am I comfortable based on my position waiting it out and dropping a little bit more, even if you go negative. Sometimes you can afford to go negative a little bit if you think it's going to reverse. So you kind of got to do your own technical analysis, but use Market Cipher to confirm your feeling about the momentum of the trade before you get into it. So once I've looked at the 24-minute, then I'll flip over and look at the 1 hour. So what is the 1 hour doing? Well, we're still kind of trending down toward that zero line, and that's okay as well. We're still got good money flow. If you notice at the 1 hour, above the zero line right here, we got a green dot. So we may have gotten a green dot on the 24-minute down here, and then this green dot on the 1 hour would confirm that we are going to trend upward, which is great because on this momentum wave, if I was in this trade, I would have actually made a pretty decent return by getting in on this green dot here and riding this all the way up. So I'm not saying that's what I did, but that is a good example of if you look at the 24-minute and then you see a green dot above the zero line and you're not going to be in the trade for more than an hour, then, or maybe 2 hours, that momentum wave, it looks like it lasted from 1600 all the way up to midnight. So that was a pretty decent run. If you were trading on the 1 hour, you would have felt really confident that it was going to keep going up. And then just the other dot you need to start looking out for is the red dot, and that'll start signaling that you might want to get out of the trade. Sometimes you'll get a red dot and then it'll still kind of move upward a little more, and it'll kind of ride up a little bit more before it trends down. But those are the instances where you have to decide, should I take profit? It's never a bad idea to take profit, even if you miss out on a few more percentages. Don't get greedy, otherwise you'll get burned. I've been burned by waiting too long to get out of a trade, and then it'll drop back down and you didn't make any money. So once I've looked at the 1 hour, the one that'll really confirm it for me, whether I need to get into a trade, is I'll look at the 4 hour. And if there's a green dot on the 4 hour and I've confirmed a green dot on the 24-minute, I'm looking pretty good to get in, especially if this green money flow is really high on the 4 hour. Right now, Ethereum is at a place where it is overbought and people are really excited about it. And I know that we're going to see a correction, but right now there's just no stopping the momentum. But that's why I'm taking shorter trades right now, because I don't want to be in a trade when it drops dramatically. So I try to just come up with a strategy that I get in on the gains without too much risk of losing quite a bit of the trade. So you need to kind of pay attention to, hey, has this cryptocurrency that I'm trading currently been on a huge run for a few days now? I mean, we've just had high after high after high after high. This isn't going to last forever. So you need to start really evaluating when you're in a trade for this long, how much longer is it going to last? I'm guessing we've probably got a couple more days of this. Once we start hitting around the $4,000 mark, then I think we're going to start seeing dramatic drops. So you just have to kind of take that with every cryptocurrency and really do your homework. Don't assume that it's going to make you money forever, because you'll get burned pretty bad. So that's my disclaimer over and over and over again. So anyway, once I've confirmed on the 4 hour, on the 24-minute, and on the 15-minute using Market Cipher, I try to just trust the indicator because it's never wrong, or it's it's rarely wrong. It's just me, in my opinion, that makes the emotional decision, and I should have listened to the indicator. The other thing that you can look at with Market Cipher is up here. You'll have these triangles. These blue triangles indicate a shift in the momentum. It could be a shift upward. It could be a shift down. You need to confirm what that is by looking at these yellow diamonds. Typically mean that we're going to stay somewhat bullish and trend upward. If you see a red diamond show up, then that means we're headed for somewhat of a downtrend. So it's confirmation of, you look at these momentum waves, and then if you see, like you see the red dot here, shortly after that red dot, we got a red diamond. So we shifted back down some. And then we got a green dot, and you can see we shifted back up. So these indicators at the top of Market Cipher, and coupled with watching the momentum wave on the different time frames, is going to give you a really good strategy for when to enter the market and when to exit the market. So I said a lot there. The next thing that I want to cover is the platform that I actually do my trades on. So that would be BuyBit. So BuyBit is a margin trading, leverage trading platform for cryptocurrency. So there's no other trading of stocks or anything like that. You can margin trade stocks, but this isn't the platform for you. I've used BuyBit since I decided to start leverage trading. It's a really good platform. They have a mobile app, so you can even trade on your phone if you don't want to sit at your computer all day. And the mobile app is really good as well. Again, I have a link to BuyBit in the bottom of this video and on the blog site as well. It is a referral link as well. I think I'll get like $20 or something if you sign up. So I encourage you to use that link if you do end up signing up for BuyBit and decide to use it. I actually trade leverage with Ethereum from my Ethereum wallet, and I trade Bitcoin from my Bitcoin wallet. You can also transfer USD into your BuyBit account if you want to trade just from your bank account. I actually bought all of my crypto on Coinbase, and I have a link to Coinbase if you need a Coinbase account as well. So I bought everything on Coinbase, and then I just transferred my crypto over to BuyBit for trading. So I just felt like it was easier to buy it on Coinbase and move it to BuyBit. So there's options there. One thing you need to know about BuyBit is if you are in the United States, you can't sign up for BuyBit unless you use a VPN. They actually look to see if you're in the United States. I don't think it's illegal to sign up for BuyBit. I just think there's regulations in the U.S. that they would have to adhere to. So you have to be in another country, or your IP address needs to be in another country. So there's a link to a VPN that I use. So you can buy a small subscription to a VPN. They're not very expensive. I don't know any that are free. Otherwise, I would have pointed out a free one. But the one I have in the links below has a free trial. So you could try it out and see if you like it. It was very inexpensive. I ended up buying the lifetime license for the VPN. But what you can do is you can turn your VPN on and then just put that you're like in Germany or something like that. And then you shouldn't have a problem signing up for BuyBit. And then you can connect it to, you can just transfer cryptocurrency from your Coinbase wallet into BuyBit was the way I went about it. So BuyBit is where you will actually leverage trade. I'm not going to get into an active trade on this video. At least I don't think I will, unless it looks like I'm getting a green dot on the 15 minutes. So I actually might go ahead and get into the trade. I may not show that on video because I'm not sure what the rules are about that in the US. But you'll be watching this later anyways. It's not like you can follow me in my trade. So we're getting a green dot, but what you notice on the 15 minute is there's a red. It's kind of red as far as money flow goes. And then if I go look at the 24 minute, we don't quite have a green dot yet. Also, there's this other indicator that comes with Market Cipher that's free. You have to search for it, but I added it based on some other tutorials, and it's called the Wolfpack indicator. Not sure what the algorithm is there. Not sure why it's a good indicator, but I also use it as confirmation on whether we are trending up. So when we're red and we're below this zero line, still probably not safe to get into the trade yet. So if you look at the 24 minute, the 15 minute, you'll notice it is below and it's starting to kind of trend up. So once this red line on the Wolfpack indicator gets above this zero line, I will more than likely start looking to enter the trade because that means it's headed in more of a positive direction. So those are the things, there's a lot there that I've said. I encourage you to, re-listen to a lot of this. These are things that just through trial and error and watching other traders give recommendations on YouTube and other Reddit channels and things like that. These are the strategies I've kind of put together for myself, and they've been marginally successful. I believe I'll get better over time, but for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video. I'll come back and I'll show when I get into a trade, and then I'll show what happened during the trade and when I exited the trade and why. And I'll kind of talk through what I was thinking when I was looking at the indicators and why I entered into the trade. So I will edit out this portion of the video and pause for now and add that back in toward the end. I know we're getting pretty long on the video at this point, so I'll try to keep the analysis portion of the trade a little short because this is a lot of information to take in. So I hope it was helpful. If there's any questions or anything I can talk about in more detail for another video, please leave a comment on YouTube or on the blog. I'd love to get your feedback. I hope this is helpful and useful. I wanted to really try to talk about these things in more or less plain English, like if I had a buddy over and I was explaining to him how to start doing this and what resources he should use. So hopefully it's helpful from that standpoint. I've given you a lot of information and I'd love your feedback on that. So it's probably been a couple of hours since I paused the video, and I've been watching Market Cipher, and I got a couple of really good indicators that it might be close to time to get into a trade. I'm still unsure if I will, but I wanted to talk through what I'm seeing and then really kind of just give you guys the play-by-play on how I think about getting into a trade. So these green dots and the larger green dots at the bottom are really good signals to start watching for a possible entry point. Everything seems to be on an uptrend, and I am seeing a green candle on the 15 minute. We just saw that. Some of the other indicators that still tell me that this could go in a downtrend again is a couple of things. We are not above this resistance line. I don't think we'll have any trouble breaking through that. On top of that, the money flow is not green on the 15-minute. However, if you look at the 24-minute, we've got a small green dot here. We're starting to trend upward on the Wolfpack indicator. We don't have a green candle yet. There's about 22 minutes left on the 24-minute time frame. And then on the 1 hour, we don't have a green dot. We're still in good money flow. However, we're still trending down on this Wolfpack indicator. And then if you go look at the 4 hour, I'm still a little concerned because we have a red diamond on the candles, and on top of that we have a red dot on the momentum wave. So if I was to if I were wanting to get into a long trade, let's say a 6 to 8 hour time frame, this still may not be a good position to enter on. I'm going to keep close eye on it because, like I said earlier, the trades that I've been learning and investing my time in are very short time frames. So if I feel like we're going to get a decent pump in an uptrend, and I start seeing some green indications, some better, more solid momentum on the 15-minute and the 24-minute, then I may go ahead and decide to get into a trade. If it turns into a longer trade than I would like, as long as the momentum is going up and not down, then I may stay in that trade longer. Just depends on how much time I want to spend. It's about 6:30 in the evening right now, and I usually see a lot of activity around this time, so we might see a good pump, but it is Friday, it's at the end of the week, so we may not see huge activity for a few more hours as some of the markets come online overseas, and a lot of people start trading in different time zones. So that could be a good way to enter a position now, if you're willing to stay up till midnight and watch your trade. Then sometimes we don't see momentum till a little bit later in the evening. So I'm going to keep an eye on it, see if I want to enter into a trade, but just wanted to kind of talk through the strategy there and give you guys an idea of how I look at the indicator and make decisions. The other thing I did look at is I flipped over to BuyBit, and you're starting to see a lot of green candles on the 15-minute chart, and then the volume down here is pretty green, which is a good sign. And then if you look at the 1 hour, we're starting to see a green candle on BuyBit, which is a good indication that we have some momentum. So this might be a good short-term trade. So I'll keep you posted. So I did decide to get into another trade. Probably been in for about 30 minutes or so, something like that. So let's just kind of talk through it real quick. So last time I was looking at the charts, I noticed these two nice big green dots, and I started seeing things trend upward. So I just kept checking the 24-minute, and we started seeing some momentum on that, and then we got a nice big green dot above one of the candles. And then the 1 hour chart started looking really good to me, and we got another green dot, and now we're even seeing the Wolfpack indicator come above the center line here. So to me, that all pointed to some upward momentum So let me show you the active trade that I'm in right now. So on BuyBit, I decided to go in with 5x leverage, and I put in about 75% of my wallet. So that put me in a pretty good position to make some pretty decent percentages as it moves up. So a small 2% move, or almost a 3% move right now, you're seeing a pretty decent, $300 profit. So I'm just going to keep an eye on it and keep watching for momentum to shift. I'm going to start looking to take profit, hopefully around 5 to 10%. I don't plan on staying in the trade very long. Maybe for the next hour if it lasts that long. I'm really just going to start watching to see if it starts slowing down. There's not a lot of active trading going on right now, so I'm not seeing any huge moves. It's just steadily kind of going up. So probably going to take around another 30 minutes to an hour to get to a point to where I'm going to start taking profits on it. All right, so to kind of wrap this up, I basically want to talk about the final trade that I got into last night. So it's the morning after. I didn't really feel like finishing up the video yesterday. It wasn't too late, but anyway, what I'd like to do is just kind of talk through the final trade that I made, and it was relatively good. I took on a little bit more of a strategy of using more of my portfolio and keeping my leverage the same so that I could, it was a very, in the grand scheme of how crypto has been moving lately, especially Ethereum's been on a really good run. It's starting to consolidate around 3,500 right now. There's a lot of movement between 34 and 3,500. So the trade didn't last very long, but I actually got a pretty good percentage. As you saw, I was hitting around the 300-ish dollar mark, and that was mainly because I decided to trade with a little more of my own money and keep my leverage the same, so that I could make a pretty decent gain in a 1 to 2% jump. So I ended up selling right around a 3% move is what I did, and it was actually a good decision on my part. It did trade a little bit higher, but then it started finding resistance as it got closer to like 35.50. I think it went up to around 35.60 before it started coming back down last night. So what happened was it was this green dot right here on the 15-minute that I started watching. And I'd say after about this second candle is when I got in on the trade, somewhere in there, because the 24-minute had also confirmed a green dot. And then the 1 hour, I believe it also just kind of showed a little bit more green money flow here. I never got a green dot on the 1 hour, and that's probably why it was such a shorter kind of trade last night, or at the end of the day. So it was a little bit of a gamble. I was prepared to either break even or maybe even lose a little bit on it. My gut just told me maybe I could put a little more of my portfolio in on the trade in order to make a good little chunk of profit that on that trade. So what I ended up doing, it was pretty good. I was at about 4.4 Ethereum. So as you can see, I peaked peaked 4.5, getting close to 4.6. So my goal right now is to see if I can do small trades to the end of the month. We're in the month of May. I'd like to be at 5 Ethereum. I think it's a pretty realistic goal. We might even get a little bit beyond that. But yeah, I think just to kind of explain my strategy, other traders like to make bigger moves and really get a good entry point and ride a wave, an upward trend for quite a while. I'm just not comfortable doing that yet, especially with this being such a, kind of a part-time thing for me. I only want to spend maybe 1 to 2 hours in a given day, with this. So anyway, I hope that's helpful. Basically, the bottom line of this video is I wouldn't be doing I wouldn't be winning more than losing if I didn't have Market Cipher and I didn't understand it. So that's really something that you all should keep in mind when you're watching my videos. I really use that tool the most, along with some of the other, just understanding time frames and when candles close either red or green. If you can get a good understanding of what the candles mean and what the different time frames mean as far as how long you want to be in a trade. Those are the key things that are going to help you stick to your strategy. You're not going to know what your strategy is until you trade for a little bit. Something that I'll definitely mention before signing off, that I don't know if you know this or not, but in TradingView, the free account, you can paper trade, which means you don't trade with any money. You just kind of, that you can fake trading on the real charts. So if you wanted to practice and learn how to trade before you put any of your own money in, I think it's a really good strategy or it's a really good way to form your own strategy before you actually start trading with your own money. So I would encourage you to not get overly emotional and worry about missing out on huge gains. The markets are always going to be there. And learn how to trade cryptocurrency with paper trading first. It's built into TradingView, like I said. Just do a quick little search on YouTube on how to paper trade on TradingView, and you'll find plenty of information there. Just choose to trade a cryptocurrency that you're interested in, and try that first. Also, watch the Market Cipher videos. I think you'll find them extremely beneficial. Even if you don't purchase Market Cipher, it'll help you get a good understanding of how the market fluctuates and how the money flows in and out on a daily basis, and how to form a strategy around that. So I would encourage you to take all of those inputs and try to come up with your strategy. And most importantly, which is the mistake I've made the most, is stick to your strategy. And hopefully you guys will find your own way of making some small profits here and there. Make it worth your while. It's still an adventure to me at this point. So anyway, if you have any comments, I'd love to hear them. Try to keep them positive more than negative. I'd love to focus in on something specific that I said. I hope I didn't ramble too much. I know the video's getting a little bit long, so for those of you who stuck with me to the end, I appreciate it. I'll continue to try to put out a few pieces of content here and there, and it's really going to be around if I've learned something new on my personal journey on how I'm becoming a better crypto investor and crypto trader. So anyway, have a good day, and I will see you guys soon.